Every time I say Nigerians are not angry enough at their leaders, people think this guy is just blowing things out of proportion. But every time I see videos and statements and speeches of leaders and people who are in the position of authority in Nigeria, it's something that really gets me really angry. And not just angry at what the leaders and the elite say, also the fact that we have assumed a very docile position where our leaders can get away with a lot of things. And I'm particularly talking about a video that is making the waves right now. And that's a video where the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, was in a bid, to canvass for small scale industries or what you call small and medium scale enterprises. In a bid to advocate for that, she was talking about how the grants she has given could actually make people go into Kulikuli business, or like she said, Kulikuli business and Akara and all of that. So the first thing before I drop my 2 cents is I want you to watch the video. And after the video, I'm going to drop my own 2 cents.
We're trying to give hope, and to start Akara business doesn't take a lot of money. To start roasting corn, or somebody even said about grant, you see, they're saying that Kulikuli doesn't take much. We didn't give them a loan, we gave it to them as a grant. So we've encouraged Nigerians as best as we could. What is within our hands, I have given, and I keep giving. And those are the things we've done. I remember giving for TB. When I heard there's so much TB cases, I gave 2 billion. To breast cancer, I gave 1 billion. To food malnutrition, I gave 500 million. So those are the things we've been doing, and making sure we can make sure that whatever this government is trying to do, that it will see the light of the day. So in agric we've done, in social investment we have, in education we've given a little bit of scholarship, ICT training, and with NIDA. So, and all those are things, and we're still open, still want to do more. The narrative has really changed, has changed to challenge the average man, whereas the average man is supposed to have hope. So I like the idea that Mr. President said, this is the renewed hope agenda. We have to renew our hope. And that's how we renew our hope. And that's what I have to tell Nigerians.
Thank you very much.
They don't give up, just keep. We're a very proud nation.
I'm sure you were laughing when you heard the Kulikuli part. But in as much as we had a lot of laughing points in the speech, we must not let go of the very serious points we can talk about. And the first thing I want us to examine is the mindset, the perspective of the average and the typical Nigerian leader in terms of what they define as empowerment. The average Nigerian leader believes empowerment is not to liberate you. It's actually to keep you dependent on them. And so I've heard and I've read on diverse social media spaces where people said, oh, my parents, it was the same kulikuli and corn, roasted corn, and all of that that my parents sold that actually sent me to school and made me become who I am today. That's good. You cannot take that away from people. Your story is your story. But what we should first think about is, if at the topmost level of leadership in Nigeria, the First Lady is the one who goes in and out, who lives with the president, if this is the thinking that empowerment in 2026 is not about giving people access to the best of sophisticated equipment, is not giving them access to the best of technology that can make them compete globally. Instead, what empowerment means to these people, or in this instance, is roasting corn and frying kulikuli and all of that. It tells you what the average Nigerian leader actually has for you when they think about empowerment. And I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. You've seen various politicians in Nigeria. Some have given wheelbarrows as empowerment or empowerment grants. And some have given corn, some have given rice, some have given things that can only make you or help you survive in just a day. And so the idea, the definition of empowerment to the average politician in Nigeria, it's not to free you, it's to keep you tied to their apron strings. So that's the first thing. And think about how and why this is worrisome. If at the highest level of leadership in Nigeria, this is what is going on, this is also going to impact the kind of policies you're going to have for the people. So the first thing, again, this is an innocent question. The second thing you could hear from that speech is the First Lady kept saying, I gave when there was tuberculosis. I gave when there was this. I gave and this and I gave. If you add everything together, that's running into a couple of billions of naira, right? But the question I also want to ask is, whose money Where did the money come from? Is it your own personal money? Is it the people's money? Because if it's the people's money, you are not doing favor to the people by spending the money. Where did you get the money from? Can you provide a legitimate source of where this money came from? That's another question we need to ask. Because every time you say, I gave this and I gave this and I gave, did you give these as constituency projects, which we know is popular with the senators or the legislators in Nigeria? Did you give that as part of your constituency project? Did you give that as your own personal money? And then if you gave all those grants as your own personal money, oh, just before we applaud you, the question is, where did the money come from? Where did you get that kind of money from? We need the third thing I would like to talk about is the psychophancy that always surrounds and serenades the typical Nigerian politician. Every time a Nigerian politician is talking, it has become commonplace that regardless of if what they are saying makes sense or not, you have these people who are clapping, or who are nodding. And you could see the same thing with this speech of the First Lady, where even though when she was reading out everything and like, oh, Kulikuli and corn and roasted corn and all of those, she had people who surrounded her who were even suggesting and telling her, like, yeah, that's a good idea. The psychophancy by those in the corridor of power is another big issue in Nigerian politics. People who should speak through the truth to power, but who, because of their daily bread, the urgent 2K, like we say in Nigeria, who are hustlers, who are hustling for their own daily bread, they go along, they play along. They know what the politician is doing is wrong. They know it's wrong. They know it does not make sense, but they applaud and nod and gesticulate and make the leaders and the politicians and make them feel like, yeah, you're on the right track. And that is why you see the average Nigerian politician is so far detached from the realities of the common man. It is common knowledge that during Buhari's time, it was even said at some point that the newspapers they read were actually different from the common newspapers because they tried to isolate him from the realities of what the common man, the average Nigerian, was going through. And then the last point, as I rest my case, is when the First Lady was speaking about grants for Kulikuli and corn and ewa, the question we should ask is how many children of the average Nigerian politicians would actually go into these businesses? Is it just for the less privileged? Are they the ones to stand by the roadside, spending for their daily needs? Whereas the jobs in NMPC, the jobs in Federal Inland Revenue, the jobs in Central Bank of Nigeria, the jobs in the Department of Public Petroleum Resources, the jobs in all these juicy places are exclusively reserved for the children of the elites of the political class in Nigeria. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on this very trendy Kulikuli. You know, I remember a time on DJ YK Mule will have added sound to this, but I guess maybe everyone right now is is under the Tinubu effect, you know. But please let me know what's your 2 cents on this. Maybe I'm the one overthinking, or maybe it's exactly as it is. Just let me know. I would like to get your 2 cents on this. Okay, till I see you next time. Stay out of trouble.